All right, well, I'm waiting for people to come on here. I'm going to start getting into today's meeting here. And hey, Mike, is that you jumping in here? Beautiful. Love it. All right. So I'm going to jump into what we got going on here, hit today's news, kind of get in what's going on in the crypto space here, where we are, where sentiment is, what crypto is being. We're going to cover a lot of different topics tonight here. And then if anybody's got questions, we'll let people jump in with questions as people funnel in and on and off the call. So we'll start with FTX, right, which has caused so much of the turmoil here recently. Sam Bankman-Fried, the owner, CEO of FTX, and had a sister company. I think it was Salamena, whatever it was called. I can't remember the name of the company right now. Alameda. And they basically funnel money back and forth to each other to pump up tokens to list on an exchange, FTX, make them up, things that were pretty much worthless, giving them value, selling them out there in the market and defrauding and ripping people off here. Basic good old Ponzi scheme. And what they had done was collected a lot of money doing this, utilizing this, funneled a lot of money to Democrat Party for the most part here and giving funds for re-election. And that's pretty much a long short of here. There's gonna be a lot coming out on this over the next 3 to 6 months. There's gonna be more fallout, more companies failing, like BlockFi's obviously in bankruptcy, FTX. There's gonna be a lot more still to fall. And that leads me to one of the most important parts of tonight's call. Which exchanges can you trust? Which ones should you buy on? So I'm going to go over the list here, and it's not that long, right? Besides decentralized finance exchanges, which are totally separate, which are swaps like Uniswap.io, like PancakeSwap, like SushiSwap. These are totally separate. They're called decentralized finance. They are not a centralized company like Coinbase, like Binance, like Voyager, who's now bankrupt, like Crypto.com, like any of these. So they're separate. So the ones that I trust, Binance.us, right? Because you can't, unless you have a VPN, you're not gonna be able to buy off regular Binance, which does have more cryptos that you could purchase, but they got a lot on Binance.us. Coinbase.com. Caleb and Brown, which is an over-the-counter firm out of Australia. And yeah, they do charge 3.5% commission, which is pretty hefty, but much more secure. And your wallets are much more secure if you hold any funds there, which I wouldn't recommend holding any funds on any of these exchanges right now. Bitmart would be the fourth, and they're smaller. They have a lot of smaller cryptos that you can get that you can't get on a lot of other exchanges. So they're one I use. All these you want to be in and out. In other words, you're buying crypto, like on Coinbase and Binance, they make it really, really easy. You can just connect your credit card, your debit card, your checking account, and then purchase that way. And then you could take them off the exchange within a period of days, usually for the most part, unless you're a newer account, it might take a little bit longer until they do the KYC, which stands for Know Your Customer, and they do all your background check on everything, just like regular old bank would do. So those are the ones I trust the most. Any of the decentralized ones that I mentioned earlier, like I really like PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, SimpleSwap.io. Some of them can get pricey, but you don't have to worry about the same type of issues that you have with the centralized exchanges, like the Voyagers that are now gone. Like we're at risk. Gemini is another one I do like, and I've used at times. I just don't fully trust it right now because they had so much of their staking income based off of things tied with FTX and Alameda that I am a little bit worried what the fallout could be there. So I'd say steer clear of them for now. We'll see how things settle out. Crypto.com, I don't trust. I just pulled everything off there last week that I had. I pulled everything off Coinbase. I had some open trades I was doing. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to cash them out, sit in cash, and wait this out for a little bit because I do expect another shoe to drop and another drop, one final drop potentially here in the crypto market, which would potentially give us some unbelievably good deals, right? But I think it'll be a fairly short term. I think the next drop doesn't last. It hits and it maybe is so deep that it sends cryptos flying back up because the values are so low that people are just buying them up, the people that are staying in the space. which gets me into sentiment. So let me go to that article about sentiment. And a recent one is on Cointelegraph.com. Just 8% of Americans have a positive view of crypto. And of course, that is 100% driven by the media fraudsters that we have, the complete lying fraud media. Obviously, they're trying to cover up for Sam Bankman-Fried because they made so much money off him with advertisements, and of course they pushed the Democrat Party agenda. FTX did, so they're going to try to protect him in any which way they can. So they're going to spin it all off as crypto spend. Now, crypto did nothing. Crypto had nothing to do with this whole fraud. This is like a Bernie Madoff scheme just in the crypto space. Just happened. Yeah, bad actors. You're going to have bad actors in any space. And yes, crypto is like the wild, wild west. And that's why I love it, because I love the freedom. I don't like the regulations. I know regulations are coming, which are going to suck because they'll overregulate the heck out of everything, which will be a problem. I'm not going to like that too much. And it's going to make things way more difficult for me to buy and sell. It's also going to make it much harder for me to get big returns. Yeah, it'll reduce your big risks downward. But if you're somebody like me and a lot of people in a crypto space, we don't mind it. Volatility is what can make you a fortune in a short period of time. Once you take that volatility away, you lose some of the allure of what crypto was. Not all of it, right? Because there's a lot of great protocols, a lot of great cryptos out there that have a bright future. But if I were to put us into a time frame of where we are in crypto space now compared to where we were with the internet, because cryptos and the internet can be kind of looking at things hand in hand, because Web 3.0 is internet and blockchain based through Web 3.0. We are in the 1990s. So if you remember companies like Friends in the 1990s, if you remember MySpace, right? They went away. Facebook was standing. A lot of these other retail outfits that were out there. You had Amazon. My grandfather loved, I never had this conversation. I forget this conversation with my grandfather. This was around 1996, 97, 98 timeframe when I was still in college. And I was trying to get him to buy, he was big in the stock market. I was trying to get him to buy Amazon. And he didn't try to say, oh, they bleed money, they lose money, they're going to be losing money for the next 5 or 6 years. And I said, yeah, but they're branding. They're building a brand. This is all intentional. What he has set up, he's building a brand. He's going to lose money. He's going to keep raising capital, but it's a long-term play. And it ended up being a brilliant play, obviously, because Amazon's one of the biggest, best companies. I use them like crazy. Most of us on this call use them like crazy. Most people in the world use them big time. So my grandfather was like, oh, I'll trust my good old Kmart and Sears. I'm like, and of course, you know where those companies are now, right? Gone. So, I mean, Sears is still around to an extent, but for long and short of it, they're pretty much wiped out. These companies, you have Walmart, you have Amazon. Those are your two big retail giants that are left there in that space. So what's going to happen in crypto space? We're going to have the same kind of chaos and bankruptcies and things that went on in the early 2000s, late 1990s, really the dot-com bust, right? When in 2000, 2001, when 80% of those companies went belly up, I fully expect 80% of these cryptos to be gone. There are so many fraud cryptos out there. There's only, maybe 50 decent companies out there. And of those 50 decent companies, in other words, companies are actually doing stuff and building stuff and creating things. Of those, I'm expecting a good solid 20 to 25 to be around for a little while. And then of course they'll consolidate, right? They'll consolidate whether they're bought out or whether they end up going belly up because another competitor comes in, takes all their market share. It's going to be the same thing. So that's where we are. We are in internet 1990s. That's where we are in cryptos here in 2022. But we're quickly shifting, right? And it has to do a lot with our financial system and the debt and the deleveraging of the debt that's going on around the world, right? Why is the dollar skyrocketing? Well, the dollar skyrocketing because nobody believes in the rest of the world, right? All their currencies are all way worse than ours. We're the best of the worst. We're the best looking date at the prom, which doesn't mean it's the best looking dick girl around, right? Just the best looking one at that prom. Anyway, so that's where we are here in this space, and that's what's going on. And these are the exchanges I recommend, Binance, Coinbase, Caleb and Brown. If you don't have that referral link, you need it. They normally charge 5% at Caleb and Brown. You'll get it for 3.5. I just got to give you the referral link. And I have referral links for all of them where they give you some free, $50 worth of Bitcoin or whatever. So anybody who doesn't have those referral links, hasn't set up accounts with any of these companies and wants to, just reach out to me, let me know, email me, and I'll get you guys all that information that you need. All right, now let's talk about which cryptos right now are the ones that I think you should focus on, because I'm consolidating right now. As it turned out, I had 49 different cryptos, and I didn't mean to have 49. I had really about 30 some. And what happens is you get airdrops when you hold certain tokens. They spin off new companies and they give you tokens from that new company. And some could be good and some could be worthless, right? So what I've done is I end up getting all these different airdrops. Some I'm like, I'll keep this one. It's free, right? What do I get to lose, right? So I've kept some of them. The ones I don't think are worth anything, I got rid of. But for the most part, if they were inexpensive, it was a couple bucks I got. So I'm consolidating, going down to some of the core basic cryptos, and really in bear markets, the ones you want to hold are Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Litecoin, things like that are going to withstand the test of time because they've been around for a little while, right? They've been around for the longest. Cardano, ADA, that's the other one there. It's been around for a while, and Chainlink, of course. But these things have all taken massive hits. But in a bear market, as time moves forward, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to take less hits than the other altcoins. Altcoins meaning anything that's not a Bitcoin. Anything that's not Bitcoin is considered an altcoin. Even Ethereum is considered an altcoin. It's just the biggest competitor to Bitcoin out there. But it's totally different, right? They do smart contracts. They have NFTs. OpenSea is the largest NFT exchange out there, which will probably get eventually overtaken by other different ones out there, like Theta's NFT program will probably end up overtaking it over time because their gas fees are much lower than what you pay for with OpenSea's. Anything Ethereum based, and Ethereum uses the ERC20 blockchain, right? That's one of the things we haven't really gotten into that in calls. There's different blockchains. You have ERC20 is your most common. Bitcoin has its own blockchain, which is separate, right? Litecoin has its own blockchain, which is separate. But there's a lot of cryptos out there that have cross compatibility. And how they get that cross compatibility is they have, like, you have Ethereum, which is layer 1. You'll have a Polygon, which is like a layer 2. And Chainlink, which is layer 2 that goes on top. It's built to communicate within that particular blockchain. So these different layers around them are built to either feed information or make the blockchains be able to communicate to each other, right? When they're different blockchains, right? So that's a way to communicate cross compatibility. You're going to see more and more and hear more and more about that over the next 5 to 10 years, especially over the next 5 years or so. Cross compatibility is going to be pretty big. Right now, Theta, which is one of my favorites, is probably my favorite overall. It has cross compatibility with Ethereum on their blockchain. They build it that way. I think Persistence has that as well, built on theirs, even though they're built on Cosmos blockchain, which is one of the best out there as well. Atom, ATOM, is Cosmos. That's another one that's a good long standing. It's been around for a while, and I expect it to be around for a while. It's like Link, Chainlink, it's one of the very few that communicate within 7 or 8 different blockchains. They are the communication method. So they're going to be around for a while just because they're needed, as long as the companies that need them are around. And Ethereum is one, and some of the big ones out there are ones that use Chainlink. It's an oracle, right? So with an oracle, there's only a few oracles out there. Chainlink has a couple competitors, but Chainlink pretty much owns the market out there. It would be Walmart compared to like Kmart, right? Chainlink would be Walmart, and Kmart would be the other ones. And some of the smaller mom and pop shops would be their other competitors there. So these are good protocol to be in, good cryptos to be in. The ones I recommend if you have other things consolidating, and I know it costs, you have a little bit of a fee when you do the sell and transfer into another one, but it's definitely something I recommend. And now we're going to get into the other thing I highly, highly recommend. I already gave you the exchanges you should be buying on. You should take everything off the exchange as quickly as possible. So when you buy something on Coinbase, usually it takes 2 days. It could take as long as a week or so before they'll let you move that money off. Part of that is transferring from your bank or your credit card to them. They're waiting on that to clear officially before they let you take it off. So they control it. If that ends up being a bad transaction, they just reverse it and you don't get it. So that's why there's a hold. If you're wondering why there's a hold, but you want to take these off, and where do you put them? And that's a great question. And some of you on this call, a lot of you guys do have a wallet called an Atomic wallet, ATOMIC, Atomic wallet, and Exodus wallets. These are great wallets. Again, part of decentralized finance, the DeFi network. Both these wallets are not cold storage wallets, but they're also not hot storage wallets, like wallets on an exchange that could be hacked into and taken. Yes, there could be a hacker who's really good potentially hack into Exodus or Atomic, but it'll be really difficult. There's, for each different account, it would be hard for them just to take like on as compared to on an exchange where they pull all that information. It'll be a little bit different on these wallets because each of them have their own seed words, 24 seed words, call it, and passwords and multiple layers of protection here. So it makes it just a heck of a lot harder. People are using them, whether it's a Google Authenticator, Dual Authenticator. There's a lot of different methods to protect it. You'll get, whether it's a text message on your phone giving you an alert. Is this you? No. So there's a lot of layers of protection out there, and it's getting better and better with technology. And cryptos were already really good with that compared to the regular banking system. But some of these major exchanges are open to get hacked, and they have been hacked multiple times, and people have lost some money over the years. Mt. Gox obviously being the biggest that we all probably heard about back in around 2013, 14, 15 timeframe. I forget exactly when that was. But that was big. So you want to pull them off. The Atomic wallet's a great wallet. And what you could do, you can stake, and I have quite a few things on the Atomic wallet and just a couple of things on the Exodus wallet, because I can stake different cryptos here. I stake Cardano on Atomic. I stake Solana on Atomic. I stake Zilliqa. Zilliqa pays 14% staking rewards. Cardano pays about 5 or I think it's 7% and 5% for Solana. Solana has potential issues. That's why it's not one that's on my list that I'm going to go through here shortly. I like it, but they had too much in with FTX and the sister company to FTX, right? So there's some risk there. That's why I sold more than half my Solana off, and I'm keeping some, and I'm debating whether I'm going to get rid of it all here. I'm going to kind of let things play out a little bit. And it's kind of, the number really dropped down. If it goes up a little bit, I may end up picking up or selling it. And maybe if it drops again, pick up some more. We'll see how it goes there. But the Atomic wallet, the Exodus wallet are great for staking and for storage. So you can stake your cryptos on these things and de-stake them if you want to sell them. You can also swap on these wallets. So if you have Bitcoin that you want to turn to Ethereum or Cardano or Litecoin, you can do that. Now, you can't do every single crypto out there swap, right? There's a certain limit that they have. There are certain ones, and they both keep adding more and more and more that you can do. So they're both great resources for you. And it's simple, especially for a newer user to cryptos, people who don't want to get too crazy with it. I have multiple wallets, and trust me, it's a pain. I have a Trezor, I have a Ballet Crypto, I have the Exodus wallet, I have the Atomic wallet, I have MetaMask, I have there's a couple other secret wallets and stuff out there. I have probably 7 or 8 wallets, and wallet management can be a pain in the butt. And each one I use for a different thing, and that's the reason I have them. But not everybody wants that, right? So the Atomic wallet, the Exodus wallet are going to carry most of your core cryptos out there. You can do Theta, you can swap Theta and hold Theta and TD Fuel on the Atomic and I believe Exodus wallet as well. So they're good and safe for that. I actually hold some money on Caleb and Brown too. Yeah, there is a little risk. It's definitely probably a little less risk than you have on Binance or Coinbase, but there is still some risk. So I wouldn't recommend leaving a lot there. I just have a small amount there. Potential fill buy orders I want, right? When something goes on sale that I want to pick up. And the reason Caleb and Brown and being an over the counter is a little better to do trades on is because let's say the market is really volatile, which has happened lots of times, right? So you have, say the price from Bitcoin has fallen from 20 down to 16,000 in a short period of time. Well, a lot of times it'll crash so quick, it crashes through your sell orders and your sell never took place on Binance or on Coinbase or one of these other ones out there. Whereas Caleb and Brown, it's getting filled. It's an over the counter. There's people there filling it, right? It's not crashing through your orders. One more thing I forgot to mention, and this is only if you have a VPN and use your VPN to say you're from another country. So the Mandala Exchange, Mandala, is built on top of Binance's exchange. Binance's core, not Binance.us, but Binance's core exchange. So you can get all the same cryptos you can get on Binance on Mandala, and it's easy to use. The fees are really, really cheap. And you just got to remember to turn your VPN on, say you're from Germany or Canada or Finland, wherever, and make your purchase there, move it off and move it into your wallet, right? And it's a process. I'm not going to tell you, this is not easy. When I do this, when I'm transferring from one wallet to another, I have to give a good part of the day. I either have to sacrifice a morning, evening, or an afternoon to do this if I'm moving enough, because I'm moving from one exchange and it's got to go through that blockchain and get to the next exchange potentially. If I'm, say, doing USDC, which is a stable coin, from one exchange to another, so I can buy this particular crypto, which I'll do sometimes. Bitmart, I can't fund it with cash easily, right? I think I have to send a wire. So what I usually do is get USDC on Coinbase and send it over to Bitmart and then buy the crypto I want. And then you take that crypto and then I shift it off to my either cold storage wallet, or if I get Theta, I put it in my Theta wallet. That's another wallet, right? So native wallets. Let me get into that while we're on this topic. What are native wallets? Well, I have a Theta wallet, which I will show you here as soon as it pops up. All right, there's the Theta wallet, and it's just a mobile wallet. You can have a mobile wallet or a desktop wallet. And on this, I stake my cryptos. There shows my stakes that I have right now of T-Fuel and of Theta and of T-Drop, which was an airdrop that I get from Theta for their NFT exchange, just simply because I own, hold, and stake Theta and T-Fuel. It's really just Theta. Theta is their governance token, their main token for their company. So if you're staking that, you'll get airdrops for these other tokens that they put out. So back in the day when there was only Theta, T-Fuel was their next airdrop, and T-Fuel is their gas token. Gas token meaning it's used. So when you trade Theta, you burn T-Fuel, and T-Fuel is like 4.5 cents right now, right? Where Theta is like 90 cents, we'll call it. So you'll burn a little bit of T-Fuel, say 1 or 2 when you're doing a transaction with Theta. And same with T-Drop, you'll still burn T-Fuel. That is their gas token. T-Drop is just their exchange token for their NFTs. So you can actually, I think you can use T-Drop to do transactions in that, or if not, you can just use T-Fuel. I've never actually bought anything on that particular exchange. OpenTheta.io I do use, and T-Fuel is the token that you use to purchase, right? But T-Drop might just be their NFT governance token. I'm not 100% positive on that there. But anyway, they airdrop it and you get it for free. So as long as you're staking it, you earn more. Persistence, which is another one. There's a new airdrop that they're doing here. So Persistence XPRT, I got P-Drop, which is their NFT, I believe their NFT token, and then P-Stake, which is another separate company, which is their liquid staking company. So when people different companies out there want to use a different company for staking, P-Stake is a company out there who will help them with their staking and set everything up for staking their particular native token. And then they have one called Comdex, and that one I believe is going to be a big one for the future here. Basically what that is the old financial system, Comdex, silver, gold, commodities, all those things you can get on Comdex in a crypto form, right? So they're going to be able to switch it to Web3. The Comdex will be able to have transactions go through on Web3 through the Comdex token here of Persistence. So they're bringing the old financial system and the new financial system together. They're the bridge right there for it. So that's one of the things they do. They do a lot of great things. Very interesting company. Tushar Agarwal is their CEO. very sharp guy. Watch him on YouTube. XPRT Persistence is the company. Just look them up on YouTube, and you can type in his name, Tushar Agarwal, if you want, or see him on interviews. Very impressive, and he gets into details about what they're doing. And he started a company, I believe, in 2018, and they didn't put a token out till 2021. And they did that for a reason. They wanted to have a token that actually had value when it came out, where a lot of these companies out there throw a token out, they don't have any company, they don't have people hired to do anything yet, right? It's just a garbage coin at that point. It was worth whatever, nothing really. But there's a lot of them out there, and know that. And I don't want you guys to get into these wrong coins out there. So let's get into the list real quick. Let's get into the list of the coins I personally, and this is, again, I'm not going to give you financial advice here. This is just what I'm doing, and it works for me. If you feel like it works for you, great, go ahead and do it. But obviously Bitcoin is the big one, and it's the original one, been around since 2009, only 21 million available. And that's all that ever be mined. So I think there's a stat where there's 45 million millionaires in the world, which I thought was low, but I guess that's decent amount there. There's not even enough Bitcoin for each millionaire in the world. So that tells you a scarcity there. They'll never make more. That blockchain was built out specifically for this purpose, to give it value, which means over time, as long as we have inflationary currencies out there that keep inflating stuff, Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. It's going to be your hedge against inflation. Hence why it's called digital gold, right? Unlike gold, which you have to bring in your pocket, carry with you, be very difficult. I can bring my Bitcoin here on this and control it and do transactions on my phone, on my laptop, on my iPad, whatever device you have. Very simple and easy to do, portable, and it's going to be here for a long time, right? There's 72,000 computers that run that Bitcoin blockchain network. Think about that, 72,000. There's no intermediary. When you make a transaction, there's no person in the middle, like a bank, saying, you know, I'm not going to do this transaction because I don't know you. Who are you, right? That doesn't happen here in Bitcoin. What it does is you send a transaction out. It goes through that blockchain. It verifies, yes, you own this Bitcoin. And it goes through that and it fills out the block and comes back, and it's full loop, and the transaction is verified. It's pretty quick. It's not super quick. The Lightning Network is speeding it up to make it quicker. And they're selling Bitcoin in smaller fragments called Satoshis, just to make it more easily used for transactions. And if you want one that's great for transactions, that's quicker blockchain, bigger blocks, same type of setup, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash was a hard fork off of the Bitcoin blockchain, used the same fundamentals, 21 million, no more than 21 million will ever be made. And the blocks are just bigger, and it was made for speed. This was meant for transactions. As a result, it's the most transacted blockchain on Earth. It is the most transactions run through Bitcoin Cash, more than any other crypto out there. Eventually, it'd be XRP. Soon as the SEC lawsuit is figured out and done, resolved, probably sometime in 2023. Who knows? They keep kicking the can down the road here. That'll open up. They're already doing deals with American Express. XRP Ripple is already used for transactions with American Express. Visa, MasterCard are next, and they're already already have deals or are close to deals with them. So the SEC's just got to get their head out of their backside, figure this out, or not the SEC, but the judge got to rule on it. Looks like they're going to rule for sure in XRP's favor here. And it's not a, they're trying to say not a commodity. I forget what the term they use there. Anyway, doesn't matter. As soon as that's settled, where XRP will go up, XLM, Stellar Lumens does the same type of thing. It will go up along with it. I think XRP is around like 38 cents right now. Really undervalued. I think it's been up to $1.53, maybe all-time high. So things are very, very undervalued right now. Back to Bitcoin. I told you 21 million were going to be available, and about 5 to 7 million have been permanently lost. So really you're looking at somewhere, 14, 15, 16 million Bitcoin that'll be actual in existence. So not a whole lot. Scarcity is what gives it value. Security is what gives it value. No intermediary. Government can't seize it for me. I hold it in my cold storage wallet. I hold the keys. which is your password, which is the seed words that you control for your particular wallet that you use there, that nobody can get or steal or take from you unless you're really negligent with your handling of your passwords and all that kind of stuff, and store everything right on your computer and it's wide open. But that's why Bitcoin's great. And next we'll go down to Ethereum. And I've never been huge on Ethereum. I bought it. I don't really particularly like that they went from proof of work, which is what Bitcoin does, mining, to proof of stake, because it just leads, it makes it less decentralized, makes it more centralized. I'm not a fan of that, but they have great smart contracts. They have the best developers out there working on that blockchain. So because that's going to be around for a while, it's going to be used corporately for sure, for business and transactions for years to come. That's going to be a big one. And I could see it overtaking Bitcoin in market share just because of the use case of it over time here. It does a lot. There's a lot of things that are done on ADA, which is Cardano, which is a direct competitor of Ethereum. Co-founder Charles Hoskinson is the founder of Cardano. So he has basically made Cardano to compensate for all the inefficiencies of Ethereum, but likes Ethereum too, thinks Ethereum has a bright future. He's just doing some different stuff with Cardano. Again, smart contracts like what Ethereum's doing. A lot of use cases going on. Polkadot's another one that's a good one. Polkadot has not had the same development that Cardano has had and Ethereum have had recently. I'm not quite sure why. It's got a great following. Strong loyal base that really likes it. I do like it too long term. Still think it's going to be good for a while. But again, one of the co-founders of Ethereum broke off and created Polkadot. A lot going to be used for gaming a lot, but there's a whole bunch of different layers within the Polkadot system that it should give it value. But we got to see, do any of them take off, right? They could all fail, and Polkadot could essentially fail too. But I still like it. Still like it a lot. XRP, Ripple, which I told you is a transactional banker's coin, more or less. Theta, let's get into Theta. I was just at the Theta conference in Fort Lauderdale here, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's called ThetaCon 2022. Theta just moved from mainnet 3.0 to mainnet 4.0. A lot of great changes coming, a lot of announcements coming. It looks like they may have an agreement coming up with Netflix soon. That's going to be pretty big. For those that don't know what Theta does, Theta has a couple different things, does quite a few different things, but Theta TV, Theta.tv is one of the main things. It's kind of like a competitor with YouTube. It's still in its infancy, and I mean very much infancy stages. Theta TV it's not a competitor to YouTube yet, or BitChute, or to Rumble, these guys, but it will be in time. What's on there is Worldwide Poker Tour. NASA has its live feed going through there all the time. There's a lot of crypto companies, obviously, and crypto people in that space that do videos. I plan on doing a lot of my real estate videos in there because I do see the growth here potentially. And I love how they reward the creators. So essentially, if you're a creator on Theta TV and people get views, you get paid in T-Fuel by amount of views, amount of watch time, same algorithm pretty much that YouTube used, because Steve Chen is co-founder of YouTube, is one of the co-founders of Theta. Mitch Liu is, I think, the CEO, the one who runs Theta. Brilliant guy. They have some really good people, the high-level people on the top of Theta, and that's why I'm very bullish on it. So that's one of the things it does, right? So it's tremendous that you can get paid in Theta right away. People like what you have there. They can just donate, or T-Fuel, sorry. They can just donate T-Fuel to you. And obviously T-Fuel's value, and it varies from day to day, but it's fairly stable right now in this down market. I think it's 4.5 cents. It's been as high as 66 cents. Theta, right before the launch of mainnet 3.0 a couple of years ago, I think that was in early 2021, maybe, or late 2020. It ran up from like 25 cents to $16 and change in a short period of time. That was a raging bull market, different right now. If we're in a raging bull market with what Theta just did, launching the mainnet 4.0, would have gone through the roof, would have been staggeringly high. Now let's talk what else Theta does. So Theta runs nodes. One's called the Guardian node, which I can run on my computer. I used to run a Guardian node on it, or you can do what's called an edge node, little lower level with the edge nodes. And in essence, what this does is allows people, when you're not using your computer, your bandwidth from your Wi-Fi, you're not using, I don't know how they do this, right, technologically here, but they're able to utilize it and share it with other people around the world. It's meant to be a gaming platform, right? As far as data TV and some of the things they do, they want a big part of their company to be a gaming platform. So you're not lagging. The game doesn't lag because they're borrowing your Wi-Fi essentially that you're not using maybe while you're sleeping during the middle of the night, and you're rewarded with T-Fuel. So you get rewarded and you get paid in T-Fuel. You're not getting it to them for nothing, right? So there's a reward for it here. Great things. This is what a lot of things crypto do that people don't understand. Instead of a bank or an institution collecting all the fees and doing it, this allows general users to be able to create extra income, sharing their bandwidth in their computer or staking their cryptos, things that you don't get in a traditional financial system we have right now. And that's why I love the crypto space and where it's headed. And yeah, it's taken a major dive with 8% of Americans having a positive view. But I attribute that to the horrible media we have. And if you go to South Korea, it's totally different. South Korea's crypto market is bigger than their stock market. Why, do you ask? Because it has a very young population. South Korea is very young, and the older people are in the stock market, and the young people are in the crypto. They don't trust stock market. They don't like anything about it. So because of that demographic, that's why there's so many more people crypto there. Japan, to an extent as well. Different countries, smaller countries of the world, wherever the younger people are, that's where crypto is used more. Wherever older people are, that's where the stock market's utilized more. We still have an older population here in the United States, right? And that's why there's a big stock market thing. Italy, very old population. Germany, older population. Any of these European countries, old populations, they don't have enough young people. So the crypto hasn't caught on there as much. Wherever you have the younger people, that's where it's going. And that's why they want to get to South America, right? Some of these smaller countries where there is a bigger, younger population that will adapt to this, but they need technology there. They need Wi-Fi, right? They need smartphones. They need all of these things that they're not able to get currently. And that's where cryptos and Web3 are pushing development there. That's where blockchain is going to help those third world countries develop hopefully better and quicker and be able to get them to earn more income. For example, in the Philippines, which a lot of people who are on this who are real estate investors know, we use VAs and they get paid very little, right? $250 is your average hourly rate for people that work in the Philippines. Well, there was a crypto company, gaming company called Axie Infinity. And they had a game where you earned their native token was called Smooth Love Potion, which was just their gas token, more or less. So you earn this when you defeated certain people or got this NFT, got this weapon, which was an NFT and it has value too. And Smooth Love Potion was the native token. So these people were making $1,500 to $2,000 a month playing this game, which is a boring kind of not great game, but they're making money doing it way more than they were just being a, whatever, VA or whatever else they were doing. So now that the market got hammered so much, it's not nearly the same. They're not making nearly the same, but they're still doing it. They're still gaming. There's more play to earn stuff coming out there. More metaverses will pop up. Who knows which one's going to be the good one? I would say if I had to guess, because of the players in Sandbox like Snoop Dogg and some of the big NBA stars and other people, Hollywood people that have a lot of money, I think Sandbox, Decentraland, which is Mana, M-A-N-A, those will be big ones. As far as gaming, I like Gala a lot. And I like Gala because they have a lot of developers from your traditional games that were out there that kids like. But until they make these games really good and competitive, like Fortnite and others, where you earn and can actually earn some decent money. And I'm not talking about like the best gamers making a fortune, but even people that are just okay being able to make some decent money doing it. That's when they'll become more popular. And working down my list, definitely I would say if you're going to be into the metaverse, the two I'd recommend. Personally, for me, Decentraland 1, Sandbox 2, but a lot of people do it the opposite way, Sandbox and then Decentraland. Again, you can buy land in these metaverses, develop the land, rent it out, sell the land. So there's options to do lots of different things in these metaverses. Did Theta. Persistence we talked about, XPRT, really like it, very difficult to get. And one of the exchanges you have to get it off of is one I'm a little bit worried about, called KuCoin. A lot of you guys heard of KuCoin. I don't know if they'll survive. There's been rumblings, grumblings, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that, to be honest. So I'd say if you're going to do a transaction here, get on and get off of it, or just go to Caleb and Brown, ask them, because I think they can now get persistence. They couldn't for the longest time, and now they finally can, from what I've heard recently here, that they can do it now. So you can get it from them. You can always do it on some of these swaps too. Just a little more difficult, right? It's just time consuming. Again, the reason you make big money on this, because it is time consuming, it's difficult, and not everybody's doing this. Small percentage of people, that's how you make decent money. You're doing something not a lot of other people are doing. Assuming you're in a bull market, which we're in a bad bear market right now, the longest bear market since 2018. I already survived through that 2017, 2018 bear market. Really, it was 2018, because then in 2017, the market was really tearing. I'd say from August of 2017 on, it was really, really hot. And I had gotten into it around April, May of 2017. And it was before it took off and it hit, like, wow, this is awesome. And then 2018, boom, right down the tanks. And it was down until 2020, and then got crushed with COVID. And then after all that money printing went on, at around August again in 2020, took off. Cryptos took off. But raging bull market all through 2021 for the most part. Raging. You had a couple of downtimes in 2021, but nothing big, right? It was mostly a bull market. And then at the end of 2021, end of October, that's when Bitcoin hit its all-time high of 69,100, dropped, and the market's been dropping. It's been dropping like this, right? Ever since. It's been going, stepping down. And we're getting to the point where we may have hit the bottom, but we're not quite there yet. We're very close to the bottom. And I don't want people to give up. People that are interested in this and interested in the space, don't give up. As soon as you give up, this market will turn and you will regret selling. Don't sell out on anything. My dad is down on so many of his cryptos that he bought in 2021. He's like, what am I going to do? Put 50 grand in certain ones, and they dropped all the way down to 5. I'm like, yeah, I bought some of those too. I'm in the same boat as you on those particular ones, but the ones I bought in 2017, I'm golden on, right? And 2018, 2019, that dollar cost average I bought in, I'm golden on. So stay long-term, have a very long-term thought process with this. This is technology, 5 to 7 years out. It's like when you buy a stock, are you buying it for tomorrow or next month or 6 months? Maybe certain ones you think something's going to come out, news on it. The same thing with cryptos, but generally when you buy stocks and stock market or mutual fund, you're in long-term, right? You need to be in this long-term, but you need to be nimble. You need to know, all right, when things are shifting and things are bad, when to get out. I was very, very fortunate. I was never ever used FTX. Didn't trust it. Didn't really like it. Never did Celsius. Never used it. Was tempted to open up an account. Never did anything with it. BlockFi, same thing. All these companies are now gone. Right. I was very fortunate. I have not lost any. Not would. It's only a matter of time. I'm sure before I do, if I don't hold my own cryptos. It's only a matter of time. Luna, I didn't own any Luna. Just didn't trust an algorithmically based blockchain. I just didn't trust it. So, and it was something in my gut that just told me, and like, stick with the good ones. Know what the good ones are. They've got use case. These fly-by-nights that are out there, you want to avoid them and avoid them like the plague. All right, so Theta, I told you, T-Fuel, T-Drop is their native token. It's like a 1/2 cent T-Drop for their NFT exchange for Theta. Which I think is opentheta.io. Bitcoin Cash, which I already said. Bitcoin Cash, by the way, I think has been as high as either 2,500 or 3,500 over time. Might even have been $5,000, the all-time high. And you can pick it up for just over $100. And a couple of times it's dipped below 100. That's definitely one I'm going to be picking up anytime it drops below $100. If it gets back to where it is, it's great. Theta gets back to where it was just a year and barely over a year ago, year and a quarter ago, year and a half ago. We're talking about 16-time return, and if it goes above that, obviously all gravy. Litecoin. So Litecoin, what is Litecoin? Charlie Lee created Litecoin back in the day. Charlie Lee used to work for Coinbase too, and it's an old blockchain. He created it right after basically Bitcoin. I think 2013 he created it. And Bitcoin is gold. Litecoin was meant to be silver. Difference is Litecoin's got a faster blockchain, again, better for transactions, just like Bitcoin Cash is. And it's got a use case and it's got a decent following. I used to own a bunch of it, sold half of it off, did well. I think I'm going to be picking some of that up. I think it's around $72 or $70 somewhere in there. It's been as low as 45 and really took off the past 2 weeks. It's been one of the few that shot up, partly because the recommendation, I'm blanking on the guy's name now, who used to own that company, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor said, I like Litecoin because Litecoin does what Bitcoin does essentially. And a lot of the same great features that Litecoin has, or that Bitcoin has, Litecoin has. So Litecoin is something I'm a little more favorable upon, and I'm going to probably be picking up more of it. Then we have Atom, which is Cosmos, and Chainlink. Those are the big ones that I'm recommending, and keep it as simple as possible. In a bull market, you can expand a little bit more. If you want to play around and go gamble, you got Dogecoin, you got Shiba in you. Now there's rumors, again, rumors. I'm going to pick up some based off this because if it happens, SHIB will really take off, even in the down market, the bear market like we're in now. There's rumors that SHIB is going to be able to be utilized on Amazon as to be able to purchase products on Amazon, which would be tremendous. SHIB and Doge make a ton of sense. Small dollars, they're so low in value. The transactions can be done pretty quickly and easy. They're fast blockchains. And it's not like Bitcoin, that's worth $17,200 like it is right now. Breaking that down is a lot more difficult than it is something that's 8 or 10 cents or a quarter of a cent or a 16th of a cent or a 300th of a cent like ShibInu is. So if this happens, it'll take off. It could go 500, 500, 600, 1,000, 10,000 times what it is. But it's one to get in and out of. When that happens, if news comes out, sell it, potentially sell it all, but at least half, if not more, where you're playing with house money. That's the way I do it. That's the way I'm, again, not financial advice here, but that's what I'm going to do. And that's how I'm going to play it. And that's what I see happening potentially with that. And I've heard rumors and from decent sources and that I've trusted. So, but I've also seen this these sources miss things too. Okay. So don't get your hopes up, but it's a nice gambling one because when the market turns, and just hold it, because as Bitcoin goes up, this thing will go up exponentially faster and more than Bitcoin will. So it's where you can make some real substantial wealth with it. So that is pretty much everything I wanted to hit tonight on this. And if any of you guys have any questions or anything, you want me to go over any different things with you guys in future calls here, let me know and email me. And if you need help with anything, if anybody's having issues with wallets, exchanges, whatever, reach out to me. I'll do what I can to help you guys. And that's what I'm here for. And you have my email, you have my information. And I am looking forward to catching you guys here at the next call. Thank you again. Appreciate it.